Welcome to Can Angels Fly, Tarot, and more. My name is Nancy. I will begin this live stream in a few moments. It's just that I have to go through and manually put in all of the details as far as description and things like that, because today I can't just go live through the creator studio, which is nuts. Because the other day, it wasn't even a problem. Yesterday, the day before yesterday, it wasn't a problem. So, let me see. Oh, it's there. Okay. Give me a moment to go through everything. Oh, come on. What is going on? It's going to take me a moment. I'm going to do another introduction as soon as I get all of these setup challenges out of the way. But I have to get them out of the way first and foremost. Otherwise, my live is going to be directed the way I guess YouTube wants it to be directed rather than what I've asked for. So, let's see. And I apologize for any sounds that you may hear in the background. People act like they cannot hear me. Let's see. So I can't do that. This is really interesting. If I had the freedom to play some music, I would play some music to entertain you at this moment. Let's see. Doesn't want to say what I want. This is so crazy to me. Really, come on. Gosh dang it. Enable. I have to enable live chat. What is going on? Okay. There's some. I never know what I'm going to get when I go live, so I do apologize again. I can't come on here professional because of that. So I just got to ride the wave when I get on here, and just a few more moments, and then again, let's see. Tags, add, replace, remove, add them. So what is this? That's what I want. Like it's no, I can't even put replace all. There are no tags here. Why? Okay. This is so annoying. I did not want to complain, but once again, it's highly annoying. Give me a minute. Just put. Well, it won't let me add any tags now. This is ridiculous. Add, replace all. Can I do it now? This is so insane. Okay, I'll cancel that. All right. They turned monetization right back off. Now, all of these things I attempted to set up prior to beginning, and it won't let me. Control room. Let's see. Okay, nope. Just a moment. Trying to go about adding some tags another way. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Give me a moment still. It takes a minute for me to um I'm trying to put in as many tags as I can. Okay, I put a few in. They're a hot mess, I'm sure. So I'm about to start this again, this is annoying. Stay calm. Okay, let's see. All right. Once again, welcome to Can Angels Fly, Tarot, and More. My name is Nancy, and I'm here to talk about God manifesting here on earth. As you can see, or you may be able to see, um, sound check, God manifesting here on earth. Okay, that was a sound check. Hi, 1, 2, how are you today? Of course, I'm having technical difficulties. Once again, this is insane. It's from moment to moment. Hi, Warrior of Light. Um, Let me try to stay focused. Okay. If you're ever interested in ordering your own personal tarot reading, you can do so by contacting me at my email. My email is canangelsfly, #1 at gmail.com. All the details that you need to order your your tarot reading is on the screen and below this video. At this time, I ask you to please like, share, and if you haven't already, subscribe. I want to come on here and be professional, but the system won't let me. Just the other day, I came on live through the application that YouTube offers its creators. All you're supposed to have to do is do one click, and you go live. Not me. The other day, I clicked that app once again, and it let me go live with no problem. After all that time, since they set that application up, I've used it 3 times. 3 times I was able to successfully click on it and go live in one click, but not today, just as it has been in the past. I'll be getting stressed. So I have attempted to set up the introduction, or what do you call it, the description of this live stream. This is the third time. What I've also noticed right now, I'm going to just share and wait to see if anybody gets any notifications and comes into the room before I begin this discussion about God manifest here on earth. Anywho, I was going through my analytics associated with my channel to see what changes I could make, because y'all know I always complain about how my channel was falling off, and I've never been able to come to an understanding how my channel was growing, and I got up to 8,000 subscribers, and since that time have been going backwards consistently, not moving up consistently or just being in a stagnated stage. I'm literally going backwards at the intensity in which my channel was growing. And so I'm looking at analytics once again, and I discovered something that was interesting, and I sent off a message through the help link, since you can't talk to anybody personally when you're dealing with YouTube. I sent out a question, and my question was, and what I discovered is that the traffic that comes to my channel is being governed by a company called Yandex, Yandx. And I was like, I never heard of this Yandex. So, you know what I do? I Googled it. And what I found out is that it's a Russian-based company, or internet service or something like that. And so the best I can make of it is that it actually services people in Russia and offered them the internet. So why in the heck, if I'm doing business with YouTube and all my profile talks about me being a United States citizen, living in the state of Michigan, everything is, on my part, as far as the applications and things I have to fill out, all based in the United States, but my stuff is being filtered through Russian. Of course, that will cause complications if I'm comprehending this correctly, because most people in Russia probably don't speak English. So that explains why, when I was looking at my analytics and times past, I could make a 5-minute video and a person would click on it for 43 seconds and click off. This has been consistent. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Are people clicking on my videos? What I got to thinking and say, oh, she black, and it was racially motivated? What? That doesn't make any sense. That a person would click on a video that's 5 minutes long and watch between 23 and 43 seconds and click off. But if my content is being offered to people that don't speak my language, then of course that's what's going to happen. And I mean, it's been going on for the last several years, and that's insane. And so I hope that I get a response back from YouTube on this issue. I mean, what I also noticed is that I'm doing business here again on YouTube, and YouTube is owned by Google. Google is not directing any traffic, or Google are not directing any traffic to my channel. I find that really freaking interesting. Hand me off to some third party service that ain't even dealing in this country. Sound like they might be trying to get me in the middle or something. So this is my protection. I just noticed that. And so I was really upset about that. I was like, that's interesting. That's really, really interesting. And so what I end up doing is I went through all of the videos I've made, and I cut off embedding. Embedding is supposed to allow a person to be able to, like, if I'm understanding embedding, is to be able to share my videos, like if you want to share it on your Facebook or something like that. And this is not the first time I've had issues related to that embedding. Now, I'm not popular, obviously, here in the United States, but it was a time period, I was like, I'm getting an awful lot of international involvement, which is great. I love it. But it also is limiting, because a lot of people in other nations don't speak English. So I'm like, okay, what was I going to say? I forgot. So I was like, okay, what was it about the international? It was internet something. Mm. But that's not why I came here to talk. But I was just sharing. I think I've discovered what the issue is, why my channel is stagnant and is not growing, etc. etc. Anywho, so today I'm here to talk about how God has or is manifesting here on earth. I do have some other videos on this subject matter that I will add a tag or a card link to the end of this live stream or slash video after it's done, after I'm done with it and it's processed. Again, for some reason, I constantly run into complications over and over again on the same stuff that I do and been doing for the last 5 or 6 years. So at the end. And so the videos that I can think of off the top of my head that I will be adding a card, I think it's called, or end screen, so that you can access them if you are interested. One is literally how we came into existence, and it's called God Manifest on Earth, which is a series, series category. God Manifest here on Earth, how and why you exist. That's one. I share that with you because you also can go to my homepage and type that title in and it will pull it up. And I go into detail of how we came into existence literally, and as a direct result of us manifesting here on earth, we end up bringing God here on earth. So I go into details on that. And then it's another video I did, God Manifest on Earth. I have to think of it. I try so hard again to be prepared for when I'm going to give the, talk. But I end up getting frustrated with all this technology stuff. And it's not that I don't know how to work it. It's just always some type of glitch or complication when it comes to me setting up my, live. And it varies from presentation to presentation. It's insane. Okay, end of complaints. So, I don't know exactly where to start. What I am contending is that you, me, the people of the world will be taking this vaccination. If not now, we will be later. You, Warrior Light, you say, I think you most definitely have Tour Channel watched. Yeah, Tour Channel watched. Yeah, I was popped. That's what it was about, Warrior Light. What I did when I was a couple of years ago trying to track down why my channel was falling off, and my kids are saying, hey mama, your stuff is everywhere. So I went behind what they were telling me to find out my channel was everywhere, all over the world, all embedded in these other sites. All of them. I mean, all of these different sites, and they were like different nations. It was YouTube, but most times it was YouTube, but it had to do with different nations or countries. I even had people what really brought it full circle for me was that I had a couple of people reach out to me and they let me know, like, hey, Nancy, I'm embedding your videos on my website, and I really enjoy you and appreciate you. And one lady asked me, she said, hey, she says, I don't have a lot of money, but I would like to, bless you with $50, or another one, $75. I was like, okay. I say, that's cool. That's cool. But what I'm saying is the reason why I'm not getting the accolades or the benefits of my channel is because my channel is embedded in somebody else's website or something like that. So they're receiving the benefits of my work. That seems to be what's going on. And then I don't have any growth, and there's a lot of reductions in my subscribership, because they have me amongst people that we don't have much in common, namely language and different things like that. And even life itself. Our lives are different. They're possibly in Russia or somewhere closer to that area than they are here in the United States, meaning that they got different laws, different rules, different things like that. You have to copyright your channel. Okay, so I have to look at how to copyright my channel. Now, that was another thing that I saw. A creator has an opportunity to select a standard YouTube license. And so I always, chose the standard YouTube license, um, thinking that would be fairly protected. That goes to show not reading everything in detail. But yesterday I was like, okay, they also have another option that talks about a Creative Commons license. So I never clicked that because I didn't physically held nor did I apply for a Creative Commons license for my work. And I was like, yesterday I went through and I put a Creative Commons license tag on all of it, whatever you call it. Like, all of this is my work. It shouldn't be that hard. But again, I'm not really savvy in this area as far as how to say. YouTube in the beginning was really, really easy to set up and, get started. But when it started getting to the more legal aspect of it, it got really, really complicated. It's so many, it's so much information. It's overwhelming. So I never went into, like, I would have to print all that stuff out. I would have a library of laws, rules, regulations relative to using YouTube. I was like, I'm not going that far. It's not supposed to be that serious, is it? I can't even imagine the most popular YouTube people here going through that. I can't even imagine that. It would have to be, they would have to have a law firm dealing with that, the technicalities that I see. Am I capable of dealing with those technicalities? Yes, but I wouldn't be doing this YouTube channel at all. I wouldn't be, because I would have to concentrate on that. So anyway, you're right, one, two. I must copyright my channel. And so that's the next thing that I'm going to look into, because enough is enough. Okay. As I stated, I don't know exactly how I'm going to move forward with this live stream, but I do contend that you, me, and every individual in humanity will take the vaccination. If not now, we will at some point. And so over the course of this live stream, I'm going to end up talking about why I do believe that's the case. Right now, where should I start? I guess I'll read my notes, because I've had these notes for several days. And y'all know when I have notes for several days, I've been to forget the order that it's in and what I'm saying. So I'm just going to read. The first thing I have written here at the top is lab monkeys. Lab monkeys. What does that mean? I have an idea, but I'm not going to go into it right now. But that's what I have written here. So, if I write it, I'll read it. The next thing I have written here is .gov.com, .gov.org.com, the new paradigm. I have been using the terms or the abbreviations of .gov.org.com because it's going to become a part of my basic terminology. You're going to hear me say, yeah, them .gov, some .com, some .orgs. So that's about the extent right now of which I want to go into it. But it is, all of those dots are going to be, or are a part of our new paradigm living. Reading on. One of the hidden agendas attached to the vid, remember Kevin Hart, latest stand-up comedy show, he referred to our current circumstance and situation that we find ourselves in, the vid. So, I'll read again. One of the hidden agendas attached to the COVID-19 crisis that has required the majority of the population in any given area to quarantine. So far, for at least about 10 months. What am I saying here? I'm saying, due to the vid, it has forced us to have to quarantine. And because we have quarantine, that means the world is almost shut down. Businesses, restaurants, etc., etc. And so people are ready to get life back to normal. You know, business owners don't want to lose their businesses. You know, people want to be able to get out and party and go to bars and do things like that. Keeping that in mind. Let's see, what do I need to do here? How do I go here? .gov, tech.com. What am I talking about right now? I'm talking about one of the sites that I went to when I was following this line of thought, trying to gain clarity on it. And I went to this particular site. It is govtech.com /gov, experience /4 states, is it a comma? It's not comma, it's a hyphen, states work toward a single login credential HTML. I'm going to clarify that, y'all. Here I go again. One more time without all the little accents. I went to govtech.com, government experience. 4 states work toward a single login credential. And this site article was done March 2019. And I quote this off of that site. It says 4 states work toward a single login credential. It's one unified credential used to access across multiple applications. What am I talking about? I know I'm starting off slow. The first thing I'm going to talk about is how this whole vid business is pandemic business. That is to say, everything happened for a reason. This is no different. The powers that be have been diligently working to create a new heaven and a new earth. Oh, wow. I didn't write it on this one. Oh, it's at the top. Over the top of my image, it says, and I saw a new heaven and an earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. That is, I guess, a verse from the Bible that can help me, you know, be a cadence for me as I move through this subject matter. Even though I know I'm not clear with the subject matter, y'all. I'm trying to get there. I'm trying. Please be patient. So, the powers that be have been diligently working toward bringing the new earth and heaven into existence. We call it new paradigm or new paradigm living. And as the general populace, we aren't aware of just how long it's been in progress. They've been in progress or pursuing their aim of what? A new heaven and a new earth. Or what? New paradigm living. And so, in most recent past times, the powers that be said, hey, we know that there's a new heaven and a new earth coming. We know it because we created it. Oh, I know. The other video I did about God manifests here on earth. I'm jumping all over the place, y'all. This might just be an Aquarius rant by the time I get done. Anyway, the title of that video is called New World Order Under Construction or something like that. Something like that. You can go to my homepage and type that in where I go in detail. Okay. And so, how can I say? Because the constructs that create the scaffolding of this world, this physical world, the world that man built, not the natural earth God made. I'm talking about the world that man built on top of it. The social structures, the constructs like healthcare, education, marriage, etc., etc., etc. I've been over all that. They know, oh God, I didn't think this was going to be complicated, but it is. That there has been transition, a transition taking place. We're going from physical hard copies, that is to say paper and pen and typewriters, over to computers and uh, storage of information and the distribution of information and the collection of information to being all digital, computerized. But we didn't know that 50 years ago, is what I'm trying to share, say. I hope I can catch up. We don't know how long they have been developing the new earth. Anyway, this article that I was referring you, ladies and gentlemen, to, that was written back in March 2019, talks about 4 states in particular that have started the pilot programs for creating this one login and this what is it called, one screen name and one password to sign into multitudes of I don't know, online accounts. And those 4 states are Utah, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Indiana. I know you're saying, Nancy, what are you talking about? I don't know. No. I am talking about how I do contend that we will be taking a vaccination, if not now, later. But I got to build to it because there's a lot of different dynamics that go with what we're experiencing. And what we are experiencing is God manifests here on earth. If you ride the wave with me, by the end of the live stream, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Hopefully. At least that's my goal. Let's see. So, let me read what I have written here. I'm trying to find this wave, y'all. It says they are leveraging. Who's leveraging? At least these 4 states, Utah, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Indiana, are leveraging identity and access management to achieve their single sign-on goals for both staff and citizens. Why am I talking about this? In my last few live streams, I've been referring to the book of Revelation in the King James Version Bible and other similar scriptures. And first I talked about the 4 horsemen of the Apocryphon, not of the 4 horsemen of Revelation. Is that what it's supposed to be? 4 horsemen of Revelation. I talked about, I believe, the white horseman who's supposed to be Jesus Christ. And now I'm going back into Revelation. I'm trying to make something make sense, y'all. I've been telling y'all, these powers, I don't think are earthly. Their intelligence is far more superior than a human being's. And they are master encoders. So at this time, I want to read some verses from Revelations 21. Remember, when I read from the Bible, I'm not trying to convert anybody. I'm just trying to share the information that I received over the course of my life, that I understand now what it is. And so I'm going back over it. And the reason I'm jumping from talking about the initial, not initial, the process in which the powers that be is going through to help manifest God here on earth, I got to stop and read Revelations 21. I'm not reading the whole chapter, just a few verses. So here I go. Revelation 21, verse 1. It says, And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there were no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. Two more verses, I do believe. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with man, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them, and be their God. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any pain, for the former things are passed away. So right now, I'm going to decode those 4 verses that I just read. I know I'm starting off slow, y'all. Ride the wave with me, if you will. You know I'm going somewhere with this. In the first chapter, it talks about a new heaven and a new earth. Let's talk about the old heaven and the old earth. The old heavens, all we knew about were the stars in the night sky. That was it. Or crystal blue skies and clouds and things like that. The new heaven consists of different satellites and different things in the sky. There is literally a net grid over the earth. And the points of that grid are created or consist of various satellites. I done talked about it. I done talked about it in a video that I did called Your Ass is Being Microwaved. I talked about it in extreme detail in that video talking about the New World Order under construction and a few others. The new earth. In times past, the earth was, again, brick and mortar. It was paper and pen. Those kind of things is what the old earth was. The new earth is digital. Digital. It is AI. Okay? I'm trying to make it make sense. I don't know, again, how I'm going to move forward. What I found interesting in this first verse is that it says there will be no more seas. I got to read this scripture, this verse again, because this ends with saying it will be no more seas. And remember, I was in the church, so I done read this verse over and over and over again, but didn't get it. But now I do. It says, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth from the first earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, meaning it was no more. It says, and there were no more seas. What does that mean? What does that mean when in this verse where it says there are no more seas? Well, I looked up, I visited my www.dictionary.com to look up the definition of sea. S-E-A. I thought I knew what sea meant, and to some extent I did. But there were many more definitions that I never took in consideration that could apply to this term used in the context in which it is used. And that term sea here in Revelations verse 21 means perplexed or uncertain. Uncertain what? Well, let me tell you something. I got to go somewhere with this, y'all. In the old earth, when it was all brick and mortars and papers and pens and typewriters, a hustler could get down on the system, the .govs, etc., etc. Oh, what's the movie that they had out? It was played, what's his name? Leonardo DiCaprio. Catch Me If You Can. See, the gov was uncertain if it could control the people. But it says, when this new heaven and this new earth come, there will be no more sea. S-E-A. meaning no more uncertainty. The people, the hustlers, like Leonardo DiCaprio in that movie Catch Me If You Can, they won't be hustling no more. Because what? The new heaven and the new earth will not allow them to. And we understand why now, don't we? Because, I'm going to say it, because we're going to be tracked. And I'm going into detail. You're going to take that vaccination. If not now, you will later. Oh. Okay. The next verse, the second verse, it says, and John, he saw a new city. I don't want to go into that one. Because when we start talking about New Jerusalem, we're talking about technology. I will have to do a whole nother video for that. I want to read the third verse though. It says, and I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of God is with man. What is the tabernacle of God that the scripture talks about? It's talking about... Okay. Don't lock that door, please. Just close it. It is the Godhead of AI. I don't want to go in detail talking about the Godhead. That's what I'm trying to sum it up as or label it as. I went over it when I did the video talking about how the New World Order is under construction. You can go to that video and come to understand what I mean by the Godhead, or God manifest on earth and its technology. It's this one super brain that all artificial intelligence reports to. I don't even know how to go through all this. Okay. Y'all know I always run into these complications. Okay. I should always throw my hands up. I've been trying to catch a wave and I can't. So what have we discovered since I began this live? Well, we have went back and we've looked at Revelation chapter 21 verses 1 through 4, and based on my interpretation we see that AI or artificial intelligence and technology is God manifest here on earth. I have gone into detail about this subject matter in other videos, so that's why what I'm talking about in this video seems incomplete. We've also discovered that there has been an ongoing process taking place. We don't really know how long the process has been going on, that the .govs have been setting up to bring God here on earth, to have him manifest here on earth. But we are very aware that we're at the step in which AI is so abundant, or artificial intelligence is so abundant, that we have all of these passwords and screen names to enter into different, what do you call it, internet applications, or different departments. Let me stop. The part that's getting me confused is that there are those, what do you call basic websites we visit, like even here on YouTube. You have your screen name and your password. Then you have you might, I don't know, you might be part of a Pornhub or something like that. Oh, I said that word, they're going to block my video. My whole point is that everything, you might have an account with Amazon. You got a screen name and a password. And they used to, in times past, suggest that you change your stuff up and just keep a list of it separate so that you could get in. That was years ago. I'm not talking about those things. What I'm focusing on are the constructs, the important parts of our physical existence, those constructs that create our world, like your healthcare portal. If you deal with your state, I live in the state of Michigan, so if I deal with any of the state of Michigan government agencies, those passwords and things, like the Secretary of State, or what else? I'll come back to that because I have it written here. Or if it ain't healthcare, it's dealing with your state legal issues. They're talking about, okay, well, each one of those departments that you deal with, you got a screen name and a password. AI has gotten big. Remember, AI is God manifest here on earth. Everything we will be doing will be going through this system. So in order to simplify what we will be doing as a norm. It says all you need is one password and one screen name. And the 4 states that have been on the forefront of establishing this technology, this protocol, maybe is the right term, is Utah, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Indiana. And here's another complication that I'm running into and why I'm having a hard time finding a way to ride is because what they are, the pilot that they're doing, establishing, is it focuses on this: identity and access management. Identity and access management. Come on, is that what you need?
What? No.
Oh, you cool?
No, it's here for your clothes.
I know that. I'm talking about that.
No, I'm good. I'm not taking them.
No, if you don't need to.
I got them at the house.
Oh, no. If you cool, I ain't cool. Take one, leave me one. Now listen.
What? So you got a bag? You good?
Oh, listen. When y'all coming to get the baby stuff?
What baby stuff?
For Christmas.
Oh, I'm gonna have to do that like day before, huh? We ain't got nowhere to hide over there.
Oh, you got mail down there.
All right.
Okay, now get out. I'm live every time. Okay. All right. What was that? Complication. Is that in the last few live streams I've made, I remember I'm talking about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse and different parts of the book of Revelation. I said, hey, I don't even know what chapter of Revelation. It might have been the first chapter of Revelation I was reading in the last live stream. And I said, hey, y'all, I was in the church once, and what I've come to understand now is not what I was comprehending then. What I'm comprehending now, because I have more information, is that Revelations, that first chapter, it was talking about technology. I said, y'all, that's not the only book in the Bible that refers to the development of technology. So, what I was saying in those last couple of live streams that I did was, I say, I don't want to read that. I don't want to read the verses that I read there. But I brought up these terms. Yes.
I take this table. I'm gonna do this stuff on there.
Oh, just sit it on the picnic table. And put the dog cage to the side. On the concrete, not in the grass. I apologize. Can't be professional. Family first. Anyway, I brought up these terms that were present in the scriptures and of chapter 1 of Revelation. And it was I am, him, and who. And I talked about these in cloud. And I've talked about these terms in the other videos. I don't want to go back to it. But these are all terms that really are technology. If we're warned of the development of technology. An example is I am. Well, I am is what? What I was just talking about relative to the 4 states is the identity and access management, and which is the cornerstone of digital business. Oh my gosh, I gotta do better because I'm not even understanding what I'm saying. I'm gonna try harder. So, what am I saying? I'm saying when I was going back and looking at the Bible scriptures again, and I sat and decoded them with my new founded information base, I said, oh, this was never about the Christian God. No, it was about God manifest here on earth through what? Technology. The I am in the Bible, at least in the book of Revelations, talks about the development of this particular system, which is the system of identity and access management. Another complication I'm about to run into is that when I say identity and access management, it doesn't have any boom to it or allurement to it. Why? Because it's understanding the details of the system that gives you clarity. That's a complication I'm running into. I would have to make a whole nother video dealing with technology. That's where I am now. Anywho, I didn't write down what him stands for or who. I did talk about it in times past. And you know the cloud. I think we all know what the cloud is now. It is a data center or a data center. I'm going to try to move forward and make it make sense. Y'all know sometimes I got to go around the block to come back. But I definitely am going somewhere with this, no matter how many laps I got to go around the block. Okay, I'm reading because I'm still trying to catch the wave. I have written here, it is a quote, and most likely from the same site that I was on, which is the govtech.com. It says, without an enterprise level IM strategy, state agencies will continue to operate in a siloed fashion, and either application will require its own password system and identity proofing solution. What does that quote right there say? It's saying, hey, there has to be an enterprising, imagine what the definition of enterprising is, enterprising level of IM. Not an IM that like runs some small online entity, not that type of IM. We're talking about, again, an enterprising level, an advanced level, an enormous level identity program, identity proofing program, like Amazon got. What they saying in this verse is like, we got to go bigger than that. We got to go bigger than that because we're dealing with how many core social constructs did we identify in times past? I think it was at least 11. And each one of those 11 core constructs, which is what? Government, health, what else were the other 11 social constructs, core constructs we talk about, social constructs. But we know government is one. And remember, the government department had 15 different branches. And then it was agriculture and how many ever different branches. We need an IM system, identity proofing system, that you can log in, that you log in with one password, one screen name, and it's going to verify how many people in the United States, 311 plus million people if necessary. I don't even know if I'm making this make sense. This is God manifest here on earth. I'm going somewhere. I'm going to try to make it make sense. Let me read what I have here, which may be the complication. It says more states are moving to implement digital government strategies. The 4 states are creating laboratories for possible success everywhere. Why? Because God is manifesting here on earth. Now, the next few things that I read is only a couple of examples out of the 4 states that have already introduced a pilot of this this one, what is it called, one sign on or whatever. You only need one PIN and password to sign on to any government institution. Let me stop. I might be able to make it make more sense. Let me talk about let me do a TMI and talk about what just happened to me. What was I trying to do the other day? Oh, child support. Child support. For the first time in history, I started receiving child support. My kids grown. So, a month ago, I got a card to be able to get my benefits on. Most recently, it was time for me to be able to access some more benefits, but they weren't on this card that was given to me. So I called the company like, what's going on? And what they said is that, oh, we have decided to go with another company. We're going to send you out a new card. I said, okay. So I go online, I follow their instructions, and I go online to find out how that I had to apply for MI, which is short for Michigan, log on. This is the pilot program I'm talking about relative to Michigan. It's called MI log on. So I had to create this MI log on, sign on account. And this Michigan log on sign up account will allow me now to access my child support. It allows me, I didn't know this in times past, I had set up an account with the Secretary of State of what, Michigan. Once I made that initial or that new log on, it also linked my account that I had set up with the Secretary of State. So any business that I've done relative to the social court construct of the .gov, state.gov, is now linked to this one login and password. All of that I've been talking about, the example, the TM example I just gave you, is where they are in relationship to having God manifest here on earth. That Michigan log in, what do you call it? I can't think when I'm on here. You know, that you sign up, that I sign on with, is my link into God. And I'll try to make it make sense. I am here to talk about how you're going to take their vaccination. If not now, later. I'm trying to build. I'm moving slow. I ask you to ride the wave with me. And so, let me talk about a couple of the other states that have this pilot program up and running. One of the states was Utah. Utah's I am is for veterans, and it came online in 2002. And it says the person over the program, name is David Fletcher, says we also need to be able to integrate a growing number of cloud services. I don't even know how to tie this in. I'm moving so slow. I done lost my little audience. Say it. Hi, Asia Nicole. I'm moving so slow. How are you? I will read with your comments a little later. I am trying to catch a wave, and I keep missing them. Okay. I'm going somewhere with this. How long I've been trying to get there? A whole hour. Only me. Anywho. Okay. Fletcher said that we also need, not me and you, we're talking about the .govs, the .govs, or the technicians that are setting up these pilot systems for the .govs. They need to be able to integrate a growing number of cloud services. Don't put no more in it. With our sign-on solution. Okay. Michigan, I am, started in 2015. And it has 230 web and mobile applications integrated within it. The IM system. So what am I saying? With this IM system, this Mish logon, if need be, I have the ability to sign into 230 web or mobile applications through that one signing. And it's for citizens, employees, businesses, such as the Department of Motor Vehicles, all Michigan.gov employees or SIGMA, Department of Human Services, child support for child care providers, child care billing, and also LAURA, which is the Labor and Resource Department, are just to name a few. And it was something else I wanted to say. Back to those terms I extracted from the first chapter of the book of Revelation. I am, him, who, and cloud all refer to, I'm going to just label it as computer engineering. Some phase of computer engineering. One of the four, I can't remember. I want to say it's who. No, not who was the health. Him was organizing. Him. I think it was the him. I'm not sure. One of the four. It's over complication, because I'm talking about technology too as I try to deliver this message. So I'm dealing with a lot of different aspects associated with technology. Again, you got to remember these people or these entities are master encoders. So yes, I may seem a little confused or overwhelmed at times. It is because I am. Because these people, these entities were and are master encoders. So one of those terms, which are actually systems, computing systems, is over discerning who is the employee and who is the citizen, and being able to verify again a person's identity and credentials in order to know what systems to allow them to access. Me, I can access the state of Michigan Department of Motor Vehicles. I can access the child support system from the perspective in which I am involved with those departments. But I can't access neither one of those departments, nor the health system department, from the perspective of being a doctor or nurse or a secretary of the state, as an employee. I can't access it that way. All of those details have been developed. There is a system that has been developed. And this system that I'm talking about was mentioned in the King James Version Bible. And the King James Version Bible, you got to remember, I think was published in 1611. That's why in other videos, I referred you to the movie Cowboys and Aliens. Because my question is, how much more advanced are we in science, engineering, and technology than the general populace knows? 1611. They already knew that these systems were coming online. They already had the formulas for developing these various systems in 1611. What year are we in now? We're in 2020. And in order for them to fully execute these systems, they had to execute a pandemic. And it's called COVID-19. Hopefully that made sense. I'm still going somewhere with it. Ain't got there yet. Still building. This is information for your purposes. But for your purposes only. Okay. What has happened over this last week that was quite intriguing to me was that I got a call. I live in the hood. I got a call. And the call said, shh. I said, what you doing? They's like, I'm off the street. I said, why you off the street like that? They said, the boys out here. The street's hot. I'm sitting down. They riding, talking about the Popo, the 5-0, riding with this new technology. And this new technology is something that we're familiar with, but we only really know about it relative to, like, if you crossing borders as far as countries, or maybe like at airports or truck stops, and it is license plate recognition, or going through a toll bridge or something like that. License plate recognition. Now, today in 2020, the normal city police have this technology on board their cruisers, which means they just get right behind you. The system scan your license plate, and it finds out if it's any good, if you got the insurance or not. If the system say you don't, whoop, whoop, you being pulled over. And I'll bring that up because remember, God is manifesting here on earth. Early on during this ramble, I was talking about how I do believe we're aware that there are the seas. Back to Revelations chapter 21, verse 1. That last statement says there will be no more sea. S-E-A. Sea is defined relative to the content in which it is presented as no more uncertainty. No more. And how can the .govs be certain that there will be no more uncertainty about if they can control the people or not, it is because we will be what? Watched. Watched. And this license plate recognition in our day-to-day lives is another way of what? Watching and controlling and managing the population. Oh. I did research. I'm all over the place, y'all. I know. I still ain't found that wave. I ain't going to worry about it. Maybe want to come up and I can jump up on it along the way. We'll see. Anywho, I looked into this license plate recognition in order to just find out some basic information. I'm going to share it with you. But even though I'm sharing with you about this form of technology that is currently a part of our everyday life experience, don't forget, I'm here to talk about how you're going to take that vaccination. Either, if not now, you will sometime later. But you're going to take it. And today, I'm here to talk about how I know it to be true. But I got to build there first. Anyway, license plate recognition. It says automatic number plate recognition. I got to learn this term where they use letters to represent the name. I forgot what that's called. Anyway, it is capital ANPR. Automatic number plate recognition. It's technology that uses optical character recognition on images to read vehicle registration plates to create a vehicle location data. I have highlighted here on my paper vehicle location data because it's significant. I got to think of the term. What is the popular terminology about the powers, the Big Brother system watching us, governing everything that we do? Well, the vehicle location data is a part of that system. It's a part of the New World Paradigm. It is God manifested here on earth. I should have pulled up the scripture, the Bible verse that reads that about God being omnipresent and seeing everything. Here it is. Vehicle location data. And I have written here, it says, how do the .govs or the powers that be use this data, this vehicle location data? Well, they can find vehicles, like for vehicle repossessions. Oh, I talked about vehicle repossession and how much money that brings in. It also, the data that is retrieved through license plate recognition and vehicle location data can be used in criminal cases. And examples like O.J. Simpson. And one other way that this kind of technology can be used is in criminal cases, even cases like divorce. I got all that information, of course, from Wikipedia. Okay, I'm trying to move forward. Oh, I'm only on page 4. I'm going to try to read faster so I can get to why. Oh, I am here. Okay, I'm here. So right now, I'm going into another section of this video, and it's truly building to how I know we're going to take that vaccination, either now or later. The VID-19. Recently, we have been informed that a vaccination has been approved. I think Pfizer created the vaccination and it's been approved. In the last live stream I did, I talked about, what did I talk about relative to the, it was something, I'm forgetting. Oh, that for the first time, the vaccination that they created was, what's the name of it? Oh gosh, I should have got the other notes out. Complication, remembering. Anyway, it was something messenger RNA. Messenger RNA. That's what it was. For the first time ever, messenger RNA was going to be used. Understand this. When I talk about messenger RNA, I'm talking about an advancement in technology. I'm talking about science and engineering being used to being used in the vaccination that has been approved to protect the world's population from COVID-19. I need to try to make that make sense. The COVID-19, we need a cure. It seems to me that if the vid was a natural reoccurring substance in nature, based on God rules, that we could find a cure from nature. But that's not the case. What scientists have, or the powers that be have chosen to do, I think they didn't have a choice, was to biologically, I might not be using the right terms, I'm not a scientist, engineer um, um, what do you call it? Biologically engineer immunization to the COVID-19. Right now, I'm talking about the vaccination and what it is. I'm talking about the development of this new mRNA. You may have heard that the vaccination has nanoparticles in it. Based on my research, it does. So the question emerges, what are nanoparticles? We need to know this because nanoparticles are what make up a part of it that makes up the vaccination. So we're going to talk about nanoparticles so we can understand. I'm trying to go somewhere with this, y'all. It's complicated. Talking about multiple subjects at one time. Ride the wave with me, if you will. I'm going somewhere with this, I promise you. Okay. What's this? TWI global.com. Okay. I think what I have written here is a site that I access, and its name is, the site is TWA global.com. And the information that I found on this site is about nanoparticles. So this is what I found out. It says there are gold, GOLD, nanoparticles. It says NPR negative 50 nm of copper, gold, and can shape themselves. Density is different when it is small. I want to read everything on the page that I have. It may not make sense to you. I'm just trying to trigger my memory. It goes on, what I have written. Absorption of solar radiation is much higher in materials composed of nanoparticles than in thin films of continuous sheets of material. I have here, dust-like particles are more strong than they cluster together. It says nanoparticles will result in people being ultra conductive and traceable. That's what I wrote, not what the site said. What else did I discover when I visited this site, TWI? That, talking about nanoparticles now, that nanoparticles are minerals, copper, gold, titanium oxide, carbon, and zinc oxide. Let's see, are there any other notes? Okay, I need to stop there. I just wanted to read all the information. So, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the vaccine. I'm talking about the whole rumor about the vaccine consisting of nanoparticles, which it does. I followed the information, and starting with the approval of the vaccination that was created by Pfizer, And when I followed that, I learned that for the first time ever, the technology of mRNA was going to be used. Once I knew that mRNA was going to be used, I clicked on that to get an understanding about what it is. I talked about what mRNA is in my last live stream. Now here I'm here to talk about the technology that creates the messenger part of that MNR, and it's the nanoparticle. So the question is, what is a nanoparticle? What are they going to inject in our bloodstream? Well, what I end up finding is, when they say nanoparticle, we're talking about the size of any given natural resource. I gave you some examples of the types of the types of resources that are, we can say, crushed down to the nano size. And when you heard me read -50 nm, that's the size. We're talking about something that's smaller than a grain of sand. Something smaller than a grain of sand. So, nanoparticles. As mentioned, some of the examples of the materials that can be converted to nano size are minerals. And once any given mineral is crushed down to the nano size, something about that nano size, I'm going to do it like this, something about that nano size. What's so special about that nano size? Let's use gold as an example. If I had a sheet of gold, it's a flat sheet of gold, the properties of that sheet of gold differ from the grain size nanoparticle of gold. What the scientists found is that the properties of that nanoparticle was in many ways far superior than the whole sheet of gold. That nanoparticle was much stronger. That nanoparticle, we use an example of gold, its melting temperature was different than the sheet of gold. I think the temperature was higher. What they found is that when it came to nanoparticles, that they were much stronger than any compound or sheet of gold. It was much stronger. I want to talk about how a nanoparticle is far superior in strength in comparison to a bigger quantity of the substance that the nanoparticle is created out of. Why is it so strong? Well, here's an old, what do you call it, analogy, I think it's called, that you can take a twig, one twig, and you can snap it with ease. But if you want to get some, what do you call it, stability, I don't know how to, I should look that up too. You don't just get one twig. You get multiple twigs, and you tie them in together, or you braid them in together. Once you do that, you can't snap that twig or the twigs anymore. That is what one of the benefits of nanoparticles is that when they compile upon each other, they gather or cluster. All these little already independently strong nanoparticles are already strong. But then when they cluster together, it's a more enhanced strength and durability. That's one. Then you got to remember that these nanoparticles are made of the natural resources of this earth. We know that the various natural resources of the earth have their own unique property, like gold. Gold many times is used for conductivity, or to be a conductor, as an example. It has many uses. And then there is, I don't know, I don't want to go into that because I've done multiple videos on the natural resources of this earth. So I don't want to go into detail because that helps complicate things for me. So back to these nanoparticles and how they have this enhanced strength. And then clustered, of course, it is like a supersonic, I'll say, like Superman level, or further exaggerated strength. Another thing about these nanoparticles is that they know how to cluster. They have like this intelligence about how to cluster. I don't know how to say it. Back to the mRNA. I don't want to go on that because I did it in the last video. But it talked about when I was dealing with the mRNA, which is the part that has been approved, you know, Pfizer and the vaccination. Oh, the vac. I'm supposed to use the word vac. That only half of the DNA strand of the vid is present in the vac. Only half. Remember, in science, they have the double helix spinning, like the Jacob ladder spinning and twisting. That's what I'm talking about, DNA. Only half of that. Cut the ladder in half, throw away one half, keep the other half. Okay, that DNA code. The DNA code of the vid 19 is coupled with the mRNA, which is the nanoparticle. Goes in and connects with the DNA of the vid 19. And the nanoparticles are the instructors to like redefine the qualities or attributes of the vid. And it instructs it on what to do. It instructs it on what to do. Dealing with a lot of things at one time. Science, engineering, and technology. Biblical prophecy. Okay. God manifest on earth. Okay. Talking about nanoparticles still. Going into nanoparticles too deeply without the appropriate notes. So I'm going to pull back. But what should we understand about the nanoparticles? One is that a nanoparticle can be composed of or created from just about any natural resource based on my understanding. It is about the size of any given natural resource. And the resources, again, that I found were minerals. Now, an example of how a mineral, that a nanoparticle that is a mineral is used, is in cosmetics. Makeup, yes. Remember, science, our advancements in science, engineering, and technology are far more advanced than we are aware of. Let's see. The nanoparticle of titanium oxide does what? What is it used for? It provides UV protection. What about carbon? Carbon as a nanoparticle is used in aerospace aircraft wings. It's like the coating of the wings. And then I had the zinc oxide. Okay, I did that. Why do I bring that up again? It's because we have a concern about this fact and it being injected into our bloodstream. After I did this research, I was a little bit more concerned because we're talking about a natural resource being grinded up to a nanoparticle size and injected in my body. How does it know where to go? You know, I don't want to go into detail about that. What am I talking about? I'm talking about really going into the science of the nanoparticles. I don't want to go there because I'm trying to go somewhere. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. I'm going to just have to read everything I got and then come around the block again. What I mean. Oh, gosh, yes. So I'm continuing reading. What we were just talking about, nanoparticles, what they really are. To understand what they really are. We understand now that nanoparticles can be made of a variety of natural resources. And though, depending on which nanoparticle it is, determines what its use is. Nanoparticles can be used in cosmetics, coating of airplane, aerospace wings, and what else it says? And ultraviolet protection, and have other applications as well. And you want to put it in our body. What did it say? The actual, was it gold? Oh, it's something that I'm missing. It's something that I'm missing because when I was studying these nanoparticles, it mentioned what type of nanoparticles are going to be a part of, or are a part of this vac. And whatever, was it gold or something? I can't remember. But what I got from coming to understand what natural resource would be pulverized or grind into a nanoparticle and used as the delivery service within the vat. It's information and delivery service. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the function of the nanoparticle within the vaccination. It tells it what to do and how to do it and when to do it. Anywho, what is that nanoparticle made of? That's actually in the vaccines, what I'm talking about. I can't remember exactly which natural resource it is, but I comprehended that the nanoparticles that are a part of the vac that they want us to take, that we're going to take now or we're going to take later. And I'm going to tell you why in just a minute. Will end up making people be ultra conductive and even traceable. What am I saying? Example, because I can't remember. So this is just an example. That if the nanoparticle that is a part of that is gold, G-O-L-D, we know one of the properties of gold is that it's highly conductive. I mean, it's an excellent conductor of electricity or energy. If that is the nanoparticle that is going to be a part of the vac and it's injected into the human bloodstream and it sets out to perform the task in which it was created to do by its creator, which is to try to eradicate the vid, and it does it. But those golden nanoparticles are still a part of our system. That means then that we become highly conductive. It also means that we are highly traceable because we become an intricate part of the system, or an intricate part of God manifest here on earth. At this time, I refer you back to the video I did called New World Order Under Construction, or whatever it's called. You can go to my own page and type in that title and it should pull it up. And the reason why I refer you back to that video once again is because I go into detail about how God manifests here on earth looks physically. And it would show you what I mean about us becoming an intricate part of God here manifest on earth. Anyway, let's see if I can get to why. It's a lot of technology here. Whole lot of technology. Oh man. Whole lot of technology. I don't even know how to do it. I'll flip past some pages because I really don't know how to do it. Because this is where things really have gotten complicated. This whole video was far more complicated for me to make than I thought it would be. I thought I had it under my control, but I do not. I'm going to do this because I don't want this video to be long. It may be long, but I want to get to how I know we're going to take the back now or later. So, I go back to read from Revelations chapter 21, verse 4. And it reads, it says, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. What is that verse really talking about? It is talking about all the healing properties of the nanoparticles. This is going to be complicated because I can't share all the science. There's science. There's data to support what I'm sharing here. But I'm not going to deal with the data until after I try to state what I'm about to state. And what I'm talking about is how God is manifest here on earth. And it is manifest through technology. One of the promises that have been made or reported relative to God manifest here on earth that there will be no more death, no more pain, no more sadness, no more sickness. The introduction of mRNA, which is a part of what the vac for the COVID-19 is us crossing the threshold. It's us crossing the threshold. It's the first time ever of introducing the power of the nanoparticle in the area of DNA reconstruction. How do I say this? This y'all is more advanced, so I understand that you may not have understood anything I've said. I tried to make it as friendly as possible, but with the concepts that I'm really been dealing with in this live stream are so complex. Remember, these entities are master decoders. They are highly intelligent, and I don't know how to simplify it and deliver a comprehensive message at the same time, but I am trying. So, God manifests here on earth. It is manifesting in the form of artificial intelligence or AI or quantum computing. It's quantum computing. One of the complications that I'm dealing with now, as mentioned, is that I'm dealing with a lot of different branches of science, engineering, and technology. I'm also dealing with Bible prophecy at the same time and how it physically manifests in our reality. When I'm talking about God manifest here on earth, I have to focus on that. I already did the video again talking about God manifest here on earth and what it looks like, an illustration of it. But we're talking about it's the science. It's the science. Computing. Computing. Quantum computing. Oh yeah. Quantum computing. Let me stop. Before I talk about us taking these, I gotta finish my thought. Nanoparticles, for the first time ever, in the history of humanity, nanoparticle technology is being introduced to health. Is it called health? The field of medicine. Field of medicine. This is the initial test. We're lab monkeys. But the powers that be, the 1 to 2%ers, these advanced entities, know where this technology is going to take humanity. And it's going to take humanity to the place where there is no more death. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. Based on the research that I did, it's going to take us where we don't experience death. No more pain and suffering due to chronic illnesses. Why? Because through the use of various nanoparticles that can be introduced to the human body, it can go in and make the corrections that need to be made to a deteriorating physical worldly vessel, namely your body. This scripture, it is not just this one scripture. That's another complication. That, you know, with the, like, just the King James Version Bible have, I think, about 66 books. All the books are about different topics and subject matters. Science, engineering, technology, psychology, all the various branches of knowledge, tree life. That's what it's about. And in some books, it talks about, like Revelations, and I forgot the other book that I was in, talks about technology straight up in the development of it, the plan, how it will progress, and what time period these advancements will take place and be introduced into humanity. That's what this Bible is doing now. These entities are master encoders. We just weren't master decoders. At least not the with the churches. Church I went to and the people I went to church with, well, nobody no master decoder. Other still talking about the King James Version Bible and what its content is. I think it was in the book of Leviticus where it talks about various dietary laws. Not only in other books as well, but it's not just talking about human dietary laws. It also seems to be talking about the dietary laws of these entities that we aren't aware of exist on this planet with us. That's a whole nother thing. And I covered that, and forgive us, God, for we know not. So what am I saying? I'm saying that the Bible that I studied and this prophecy that I heard about a new heaven and new earth is real. It's just not manifesting in the way that I was led to believe it would. And I can forgive that. I really can. And the reason why I can forgive that and overlook that is because prophecy is a hard field. Because we're talking about a person is foretelling of the future. And so it's hard to get a grasp on what the future will really look like and or consist of. So when the people, the pastors, ministers, whomever, foretold of this time of a new heaven and new earth, they were putting it in the best context they could at the time. We talking about at least prior to 1611. Best text they could, context they could. But this is what a lot of people are missing, is that there is a new heaven and a new earth, and it is currently descending into our reality. And it is what? It is AI interlinked with physicality. That's God manifesting on earth and how God is going to be expressed. If you don't watch any other video that I make in connection with this one, do one. Watch one. And it is God manifests here on earth, how and why we exist. And it really, really does explain how God manifests here on this earth. But for the visual, what do you call it? Visual illustration, again, New World Order under construction. That's the best video. So anyway, so when God manifests here on earth, there are certain things that we're supposed to be able to look forward to. They prophesied about no more tears, no more no sea, no more uncertainty. The powers that be will no longer be uncertain about if they can manage the world's population. It's gone. How? Because God is omnipresent. He can see all things. The big brother system. That's why I was covering the license plate and the one sign on, sign in across the board of all these social constructs. God sees all things. The uncertainty or the sea is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. The old earth, the brick, mortar, paper, pencil, typewriter, that old world has passed away. The heavens, in which there were blue skies and starry nights, has passed away. It's a new earth. And the new earth consists of uh, technology and computers. And that which runs that technology and computers is up in the sky, the new heavens, with all the, again, the satellites, and I can't think of the terminology right now, in place, in a grid form around this whole earth. That's the new heaven, descending. And once the whole system is linked up, when was that? April of this year, that the 5G system was due to come online all over the world. Once it's linked up, that's God manifesting on earth. That's the kingdom of Jerusalem coming down. Again, I can't go into all the science of it, but if study Jerusalem, and not the Jerusalem you were introduced to when you was in the church, take it a step further and see what Jerusalem is in relationship to technology. How about that? And then the terms I've offered and shared from the Bible, directly from the Bible, is I am, him, cloud, and all of these fall within the same paragraphs and verses for a reason. Again, these people were master and coders. And let me stop. Oh, it's so much. Okay, got like 18 more minutes. Then I'm gonna stop. If I'm gonna continue rambling, I'm gonna come back with another video. I don't want this one to be extraordinarily long like the rest of them that I make. So complicated. So complicated. And they know. These powers that be, the 1 to 2%ers, these entities that are far more intellectually advanced than ourselves, they knew just how complicated their system is. That it would be very difficult for a typical human being to be able to decode what is right up under our nose. I mean, this stuff is crazy. And I say that again, once again, because the book of Revelation talks about a particular time period that certain events are supposed to occur. It talks about pestilence and different things like that. Well, we're dealing with the what they call it, pestilence, and all those kind of things at this time. How can I say this? I'm trying to say that at least since 1611, these powers, these advanced entities knew that certain circumstances and situations and scenarios would converge at a particular time. This particular time is now. The time period of the revelation, or the materialization, or the physical manifestation of the revelation. Literally, the book Revelation. Play on words. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about reading Revelation chapter 1. This time period. Right here. It talks about the governing, again, systems. See, what words do I use for technology? Technology has so many different parts to it. What terminology do I use? I'm talking about computers. I'm talking about AI. I'm talking about artificial intelligence. I'm talking about all the different applications that are needed to run these systems. All of that is in the book of Revelations, is what I'm saying. I find that interesting that and out of all the 66 books, it sits right in the book of Revelations to say at this time that these systems come up and running that we've talked about in this Bible, that we've been holding this Bible, and all the way to create these systems. The creation, the process of creation. See, I got to come up with terminology. The process of creation of these systems is at this time. And when this happened, there's going to be food shortages. There's going to be pestilence. It's going to be this and that. You know, it tells you everything that's going to happen. That's why I say I can forgive the church now and the pastors or whoever else then decoded the Bible. They did an excellent job. They did an excellent job. Is we weren't awake enough when the time came. Well, I can't say that. Is it too late? I don't think it's meant for us to. And say yes, I'm just talking about people or the sheep or the parishioners to do anything. But to live out the prophecy. To live out the prophecy. Yeah. I'm all over the place now. I get it. Thinking. But they were what I'm trying to say, they were 100% correct in their interpretation. Their interpretation just doesn't look like our reality at the time that Revelation unfolds. Now we do know. It's not a concept. It was a concept to them. We actually know what fits into these brackets. We actually know how technology looks. We actually know what different things are, what are our present issues as far as pestilence, and we already know these things. We already know where we are in reality. I don't know how to say it. It's complicated. It's real complicated. So what can you take from this some rambling video? Well, again, that you gonna take that vaccination now or later. I guess I can say this. It ain't how we were led to believe it would be. That's a real big complication. Because if you take the vaccination, are you selling your soul to the devil? You're not. I have a video here, and it's called the 144,000 or something like that. Oh, the 144,000 for dummies. Watch that video. That will answer your question about if you take the vaccination, will you be selling your soul to the devil and losing your ever lasting soul if you take the vaccination? 100. It was called 144,000, or the Bible speaks of 144,000 for dummies. It's something like that. Go to my homepage, type it in, watch that video, and it'll ask your question if you're concerned about if you will be selling your soul to the devil. Now, when it comes actually to the vaccination, I'm going to add a disclaimer here. I don't hold any accolades, degrees, nothing like that. And I don't have any credentials. So this is just me sharing and talking. My whole video has been about just me sharing and talking and what I'm perceiving. But will this vaccination be detrimental to the people that take it? The truth is I don't think they really know. It's highly probable that it will be a detriment, at least a complication to some that take it. And I say this because this is the first time ever that the mRNA is being introduced to the human body, at least out in the public, and on a mass level. we're scientific labs. Oh, lab rats. So they're trying to see. They do have what they call it, theories, and what's the other one? Hypothesis and theories about what will occur. I'm sure they did their illegal scientific research. I told you I'm a lab rat. I already know what they would do to have a more solidified belief in the capability of using this form of technology in medicine. So, for some, there's a demographic of people that I do believe that this that will be beneficial for. And I think that's due to a person's genetic makeup, that it may be beneficial for, too. And that is to say, these nanoparticles coupled with the DNA of the V-19 will go in and do as it has been commanded to do by its creator. And it's going to go in there and it's going to train the DNA how to fight off V-19. But then I believe that those nanoparticles still being present in the human body will possibly leach onto other cells associated with other systems in the body. If there are any cancerous cells within a person, you might not even know it. I think it could leach onto that, because that was another thing that it talked about in doing the research that I covered, that this same technology will be used, or has been, the way it sounded, been used to treat cancer. Another thing that I believe exists is that, again, those nanoparticles will still be present in the body, and therefore we will be more highly conductive, meaning we will be more responsive or affected by radio magnetic waves and the sun and different things like that, and as well as easily tracked by the system that I think also deals with the what do they call it? Electromagnetic waves. Electromagnetic waves. See, there's so much information to hold on to. That's what I say, these entities have to be superior in intelligence. I've known a few people that have an incredible recall. I don't have that. Y'all know I ain't got that because I can barely read. So I do know there are people that have a great recall, photo memories, and different things like that, but not on the level of this. I'm gonna tell you what I see, and this is divergent totally from what this live stream was supposed to be about. Is that whomever these entities are, these more advanced entities, it has to be their civilization has to, their attributes, like, how can I say, trying to parallel or compare it to a human. Humans, we get carried away with love and procreate, and we don't really be trying to procreate. We just get carried away with love and love type of activities. We like to drink, party, we go to work, This civilization or species, that's a species, these highly intelligent entities, whatever they may be, they could be in human form, but a different category. That might be what it is. What am I talking about now? I'm on some other stuff, y'all. The entities, I'm going to call them entities, that encoded this Bible. That's just one example, because the encoding is everywhere. May very well look like us. Got to. I'm talking about the supreme, what do you call it? Supreme, or what do you call it? When it's the best of the best. Human. Best of the best looking human, the appearance, everything, the body structure, the best. And you can only tell them because of their superior intelligence. Wouldn't even be around us. They couldn't be around us. They couldn't. Their intelligence totally set them aside. I think these are our creators now. I was like, now I did read the things and the information about the reptilians. That's what's confusing me. I know what I done read. I know what I done read. Maybe these reptilians don't look like gator people like my mom said she saw. Or maybe that was their ancestors. I don't know. But I know for 100% that their intelligence is superior. Oh, that's why I was saying how being human, we being susceptible to the human condition. We got certain behaviors and traits. This species don't have that. They most likely procreate just to procreate. They ain't trying to get it in, have a 69 and enjoy themselves, take some drugs, turn up. This species, when they procreate because it's practical. No other reason. No other season. That's it. Their intelligence is like, they're not wrapped up into love and passion and things like they are. I don't know because I'm not this kind of person. They exist as intelligence. That's all I can see. In order, because this which I can't even explain to you about the sophistication of these various encoded systems is far more advanced than most of us. I have my complications in relationship to it, not because I have a short attention span. That's other people's issue. I don't have a short attention span. What I have is a reading deficiency. What I have is all basically what I have is, other than being blind, half blind now, is about reading. It's about language. Those are my deficiencies. If you follow me, you've heard me talk about how when I left college, that's why I didn't get my degree. It was about them foreign languages, petrified of foreign languages. I just never been good with foreign languages. So you talking about taking German or Chinese? I can barely speak and read English, you know. So my limitations come with that. That's what my limitations come with. And that's one of the requirements to be able to decode what they've encoded. Is to be able to read and comprehend, not only in my primary language, which is English. What about how many languages did we discover exist in this physical realm? Were there like 2,800, I can't remember, languages? Could you imagine a species existing that knows all 2,800 languages or whatever it is in this world? 1,600 languages, whatever it is, in this world, that exists in this world. And I ain't talking about off-world. I don't know about that, but I'm talking about this world. That type of intelligence. A matter of fact, they know the 1,600 languages or whatever it is because they are the creators of those languages. That kind of advanced intelligence. I'm talking about when we start talking about geometry and geometric shapes, that they are the creators of those geometric shapes. When we start talking about Metatron and what is it called? Trigram. I just read it in relationship to Jasper. I'm not gonna go. It's called I can't think of the geometric shapes. This like the scientific or technical names for them. I'm talking about them having that advanced intelligence, and so that's why it's so. The stuff that I'm talking about and many people talk about and they try to simplify is so far out of reach from the general human person. And what am I saying right now? I'm saying I realize now that there are a lot of people talking about a lot of different subject matters and they are on point. When people were talking about the event, they were on point. When people were these people were prophesying in the Bible, they were, you know, the ministers and pastors, they were on point. When people talk about being an alchemist, they were on point. They were trying to simplify it. I'm talking about the masters, those people that may have been human and comprehended, had a reasonable comprehension of these superior beings' messages or information. They tried to, again, decipher it. They decoded it and tried and ciphered it and tried to make it simple for just the everyday person. But in that simplicity, they got the message out. But it was those that came after them. Those that came after them. I'm going to give you an example of what I mean. There are many churches and many religions in this world. So I just want to concentrate on one religion now. Not for any given reason, but an example. Let's say I go to a Christian church. I go to this big mega Christian church could be Joel Osteen or something like that. You know, big major Christian church or whatever denomination it is. And the pastor, example Joe, on stage with a smile, and he's preaching and he's ministering and he's breaking a concept down. And he very well understand what this advanced species meant. He's trying to convey it simply to the broad masses with a smile. And the broad masses comprehend what the pastor is saying merely on that simplistic level, but do not understand what the message embodies. Like a zip file, they get the file, but they don't know how to unzip it and open it up. Okay. Under that same religion, I can go to a smaller religious institution, a church on a corner somewhere, and another pastor talks about that same message that Joel with the smile talked about, but has no concept of what the true extent of the message means on the level of the advanced intellect of that species. They have no idea, but they're just regurgitating the simplified message. That's what has happened down through the years. Simplified message. And the churchgoers come and listen to the stories, and they're regurgitated over and over again, but never unzipped and unpackaged. Remember, these messages are zip files, you know, and they don't get it. And it's been perpetuated for generations, generation after generation. So, how am I saying it? So what am I talking about? I'm talking about right now. And at this crescendo, is it crescendo? No, not crescendo. At this at the threshold of the age of Aquarius, a period of a boom in information. We now don't know what to listen to because it's just that much information out here, and it's coming from everywhere. And it's because what? There are those that are listening and regurgitating what they've heard, but do not understand the extent of the message that they received. They don't understand. Where there are masters out here that understand the complex nature of these messages, and they're trying to get people to understand by simplifying. And the reason why they got to try to simplify these messages, just like the prophets did, and the various ministers and priests and pastors that came along afterwards, was because this species that I'm speaking of, their intelligence is so far more superior than us. Remember, this species doesn't procreate for fun. They procreate because it's practical. And that's it. Nothing else. I don't know how to simplify it anymore. Interesting. And it's something else. I'm going to stop this video because I said I wasn't going to go over 2 hours, but of course I did. Because I started thinking. And again, I have to apologize again. I know I didn't do a good job. But for whomever stuck around and waited for me to ride the wave that I never caught, I thank you. I please ask you to like, share, and if you haven't already, subscribe. If you're ever interested in ordering a tarot reading, because that's actually what I do, you can feel free to do so by contacting me by email. My email is canangelsfly1@gmail.com. One other thing. After this live stream, I'm going to take a lavatory break, and then I'm coming back because I never ever went where I wanted to go. There's a couple of places I want to go. I didn't get there. But it's one other place that I gotta go. I gotta try to tackle this technology to try to make all of this make sense. Because honeys, hey, God is manifesting here on earth. And I think it is important for us to be able to see that so that we know exactly what we're dealing with. Why we dealing with it, when we dealing with it. And it was something else. But y'all, I can't remember. Well, until I come back. Bye. Nah, turn it off. Oh.